blessed to call him a business partner. He's a heck of a golfer. He was actually a golf coach in high school. And we ran into somebody that went to your high school recently, and they knew you by name. It kind of blew me away, honestly. I was like, he set you up to this. Matthew Stewart literally fell out of the womb into real estate. His parents have been in real estate for 45 years or something. He literally fell out of the womb into real estate. He's been in real estate 19 years now himself, but his parents were like, she was the number one agent in all the whole area when he was growing up. Matthew, I said, tell me one thing about you that people want to know. And he goes, I love God. That's what he says. That's just one thing. And I know that about Matthew. He loves God. Thank you, brother. And I've been blessed to get to know this man on a lot of levels. Business, now personal. We're golf buddies. We're buddy buddies. And, you know, show me who your friends are. I'll show you who you are. Think about that statement this weekend. I want you to take this moment to be purposeful about networking with Matthew Stewart and Andrea Beam and Kim Frazier and all the other amazing speakers and people that came here. I'm seeing people that flew all over the place, from all over the nation to be here. Make sure you take a moment to network, collaborate, partner, get to know them. This is what makes these different. The real business here is not done here. It's actually done in the hallways. I believe that. All right? With no further ado, you can see the long list of accomplishments Mr. Matthew Stewart's had. With that, Mr. Matthew Stewart, please join us on the stage.
Oh, this is great. Good to see everybody on a Friday night. So tell me, have you ever in your adult life looked in the mirror and wondered if you were living your best life? Think about that. The good news is you're not alone. There are 5 things needed for you to live your best life, and I'm going to share with you 3, maybe 4 tonight. Okay? So if you have notes, you should be taking notes. That is, if you want to live your best life. The first thing is, what does your best life look like? You need to know, right? Without vision, the people perish. You need to have an idea of what your best life is going to look like, and it's different for everybody. What does it feel like, right? Get some emotions involved in it. You really should take some time and map out what turns you on, what lights you up. I'll help you a little bit. If money was not an issue in your life, your bills were taken care of, everything like that, right? For you to live, if money was not needed, what would you do? Think about that. What would you do? I'm going to encourage you to dare to dream. Kids dream, right? I want to be an astronaut. I want to be in the NBA. That was me. Right? I want to have you get a little crazy, because as adults, we get a little kind of structured, and that's a little crazy and all that, and we lose the sight of dreaming. It's interesting, in 2022, a Rutgers study of 300 people who had dreams. These are 300 people that already admitted they had dreams. I don't know what the percentage and all that for those adults that didn't, so they didn't have dreams. But here's what they found. 300 people who had dreams for their future. Women were more likely to say they would never give up on their dreams. In fact, it was 74% of the women said they'd never give up on their dreams. So at least 1 out of 4 women are giving up on their dreams. That's a little scary, right? Men were 63%. So I don't know if we feel beat down or whatever it is, but I want to challenge you to dare to dream and what your best life would look like. So what excites you? What lights you up? What puts a permagrin on your face when somebody mentions it or you see it on TV or whatever it is? Okay? Is it travel? I'll tell you, my wife and I, my lovely bride Lexi right here, the beautiful redhead, we love travel. We love cultures, people. We love people, so we go all over. So much so that we actually, outside of real estate, started our own YouTube channel. This is a shameless plug here. It's called The Empty Nester Diaries. If you want to subscribe, we need to get to 1,000 subscribers, so throw us some love. I think we're killing it at 304 subscribers right now. But anyway, hey, it's about 8 months old. Anyway, so yeah, The Empty Nester Diaries. There you go. All right. There you go. So for us, travel's one of our hot buttons. Obviously, golf. I purposely dressed this way because we did 7 days in a row of golf getting up to this event. right? Every day a different golf course driving up from Sacramento. Maybe it's giving back for you. Maybe it's volunteering. Maybe it's hobbies, athletics, coaching. Something lights you up. And I would challenge you to say it's not selling another house. It might be, and that's okay, but I think realtors get really caught up in their identity of, oh, I'm a phenomenal realtor. I know I was caught up in that aspect until the Lord stripped me clean and kind of put me on a different direction. And he said, no, son, that's what you do. That's not who you are. You could be cleaning toilets and you'd still be my son. And I'd be incredibly in love and excited about you and with you. So that's number one. You need to spend some time there. Number two, get your finances in order. Gosh, I can't tell you how many realtors that I talk with and coach and so on, and they're just living, from one closing to the next and spend everything they make. They get into real estate, they're used to making this, and then they get a big closing and, another one. They go, oh, this is great. Man, my car's not so good anymore. I need a new car. I need new wardrobe, a better wardrobe. I'm tired. We just closed a deal. I don't want to cook dinner. Let's go out. So all of a sudden, they're doing these expenses, and then all of a sudden the market changes. And they're still spending here. Gets pretty darn stressful, doesn't it? I know there's people in this room. So the key that my wife and I have found is to become debt-free. You actually sleep better, not being a slave to the lender. There's a leadership book that I read that's called, that one of the quotations is, the rich rules over the poor, and the borrower is slave to the lender. Kind of different what the world teaches. Other people's money, leverage, all this stuff, right? I'm going rogue. I'm saying do the opposite. Get debt free. You'll sleep better. In order to do that, you need to have a spending plan, a budget. Nobody likes budget. It's not sexy. So you need a spending plan. Every dollar should have a place on where it goes. All the way down, spend every dollar down to zero on your spending plan. Okay? I'm going to give you the plan for freedom. I call it the freedom plan. It's a 7-step plan. You do them in order. You don't go to number 2 until you've accomplished number 1. And so on. Number 1, you need a $1,000 emergency fund. Okay? You don't go to number 2 until you get that, and that's cash. That's not, I'll just put it on the credit card or this or that, okay? Number 2, pay off all consumer debt. Your credit cards, your car loan, student loans, everything but your house. Pay it off. And do it as fast as you can. My lovely bride and I, single mom of 3 kids, when we met, bankruptcy, foreclosure, food stamps, right? I wasn't much worse. I had a failed business from a Mexico real estate experience and so on. I brought $85,000 plus of debt into our marriage. She had about 15 or so. We had $100,000 plus of debt, and I said, enough. Enough is enough. I'm tired of being a slave, and we're going to pay this stuff off, and we're going to do it ASAP. We had what's called gazelle intensity. Every morning in Africa, that cheetah wakes up hungry belly, is looking for an antelope or a gazelle to chase down. If it doesn't get it, he'll live to hunt another day. But if that gazelle doesn't outrun that cheetah, it's bad news, right? And so the debt collector would be the cheetah. You're the gazelle in that story. So we got gazelle intense. We paid off $100,000 of debt in our first year of marriage. It took some serious sacrifice, I'll just tell you. We had to say no to some things, actually quite a bit of things. But we were resolute and focused that we wanted to get free. We didn't want to be in bondage anymore. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3, you're going to have 3 to 6 months of living expenses. You realtors and lenders, you need at least 6 months of living expenses for the ebbs and flows. Okay, now the only way you can know your living expenses is you have to have a spending plan. I would say the majority of the room, because we've coached this, my wife and I, people don't know what they're actually spending. She was a single mom and she spent $400 a month at Starbucks. Didn't know it till we actually started writing it all down and mapping it out and going, oh my goodness, I didn't know I spent that much. You guys are probably not much different from our experience. Number 4, you save for retirement. 15% you're going to save. That's off your gross. Number 5, you're going to save for your kids' college. Notice your retirement comes before you save for your kids' college. Some people struggle with that. But trust me, this is the right order to do it. Not all your kids are going to go to college, and your retirement is uber important. They can always get a job. There's different ways to fund college. Number 6, pay off your home. Okay? Now you're completely debt-free. You sleep like a baby at night. Okay? Number 7 is you give. You give like no one else can give that has the capacity to give. You give, you save, and you spend. and you live a life that is just incredible. The book I read, it says, it is more blessed to give than to receive. Number 3, create a mindset of leverage. This is really important. You need to get away from trading time for money. It's a big deal. There's a book, it's an oldie, but it's a goodie. There's 2 of them, Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Probably all read that. If you haven't, you should read it. Number 2 would be the cash flow quadrant. Now, if you're taking notes, and I'll tell you, get out of taking notes on your phone. You guys should do the pen and paper. There's something that triggers in your brain. You retain more. It's just better. I'm telling you, I'm old school. See, look, I got mine up here. I want you, if you've got pen and paper, I want you to draw a cross, okay? Upper left, I want you to draw employee. Bottom left, self-employed. Upper right, business owner. Bottom right, investor. Now, that vertical line is very important because everything left of it, which would be employee and self-employed, you're trading time for money. And I'm sorry, realtors, I know you think you're a business owner. The vast majority in this room are not. You are bottom left, self-employed. And I'll prove it to you. The test of a business, if you were to walk away from your business, let's say a minimum of 6 months and not touch it, would it continue to thrive and even grow in your absence? None of you realtors, I'm guessing, can say that because we're trading time for money. So you want to figure out a way, how can you become a business owner where you have leverage of time and money, right? Left side, trading time for money. Right side, leverage of time and money. Wealthy was mentioned, wealthy people. Wealthy people have multiple streams of income. We've heard that, but do you, right? So pay yourself 10% straight off the top before you pay your bills. I'm guessing most of you, because we've coached this, you pay your bills first, and then you go and whatever's left over, hopefully there's money left over. A lot of you, when it's a down market, have more month than money. So you need to get in a habit of paying yourself first. We say 10%. There's a great book, The Richest Man in Babylon. You should check it out. It's an oldie but goodie. Number 2, these are some tips I'll give you in regards to, creating multiple streams of income. Real estate, buy and hold. I talk to a lot of flippers, and flipping's great, so on, but it doesn't produce the cash flow and things of that nature. I talk to flippers. I always ask a lot of questions because I love to learn. And I don't think I've had one flipper say that they didn't regret after doing a bunch of them that they didn't hold on to a few more pieces of property or a little bit. And I see heads shaking, yeah. So buy and hold, okay? Accumulate wealth. Stocks, this is another one. Now, I know we have real estate companies represented from all over here. I happen to be with EXP, so I'm going to just talk about what I know and my 28 years of experience in the business, licensed at 19 years old. I'm 48 now. So I've been on we'll say the traditional side of real estate. I was Coldwell Banker, Keller Williams, Avalar Realty, Realty World. All good companies, nothing negative to say. The difference that I found is these are the traditional real estate companies, meaning you hang your license there, okay, and the broker overrides your sale, and you get no equity ownership. You basically get the sweat off your brow and working your tail off, getting a closed escrow, getting a commission check, and the broker takes a piece of your commission check. But you have no equity. Over here on this side, some of these models, EXP being one of them, they give you equity. They treat you as an owner in the company. EXP happens to be publicly traded. Now I want you to put your investor hat on. If you're looking to invest in the stock market and you have a company that's debt-free, that's publicly traded, that is the fastest growing company in its space in the history of the space, okay, sitting on $100+ million, and their agents sell more properties as an independent brokerage of any other independent brokerage in the world. I ask you, would that be a good company that you'd put a little money into, that you would invest into? I see heads shaking yes. Well, the neat thing about it is they actually give us 5 ways that we can earn stock from doing what you're already doing over here in the traditional side, right? Helping buyers and sellers. Same thing, help buyers and sellers, but we give you equity, we treat you as an owner. So that's a big deal. Number 4, set up a 401k and a Roth. Very important, get with your tax advisor, set that up. Number 5, EXP Rev Share. This is pretty passionate to me. I grew up with my mom being the #1 realtor in multiple counties. Her best year, she did 138 transactions. That was before DocuSign. That was the days of press hard, there's 3 copies. That was, hey, are you still awake? They counted your counter. we can swing by tonight and get this deal done. We have it pretty easy today. Text messages, all this stuff, okay? She did 138 transactions, but she was only as good as her last sale. And that's the story of real estate, right? So thankfully, they invested in rental properties, but you got toilets, tenants, trash, vacancies, and so on, right? A lot of you have rentals, you know. My wife and I have rentals. They're a good thing. But what I saw with revenue share was, well, wait a minute. If I find something that I believe in, that I truly believe is better, am I going to keep that a secret? If you watch a great movie, you go to a good dinner, you're not going to keep it a secret. You go, Randy, oh my gosh, the new Italian place, you got to go check it out, right? Well, why wouldn't we do the same thing if we came across a company? Again, I know EXP, so I'm kind of a homer, so I'm just going to mention that, So why would I keep that a secret? I didn't. I said, no, that makes sense. And the neat thing was I didn't take any commission from the people that I introduced the opportunity to. They got to keep all their commission. But it was EXP that said, we're not going to keep all of the commission. We're only going to, all the revenue. We're only going to keep 50%. And we're going to give the other 50% back to the agents that help share the word, spread the message, like a referral fee. We do referrals all the time. Why not if we referred, some of our real estate buddies that would truly better them? So I said, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of business sense to me. And I went for it. And so we're blessed. We have a couple hundred agents spread out over 30 states and so on. And it's produced a 6-figure reoccurring residual income. Now that's true for me. It may not be the same for you, okay? But the neat thing is, if you calculate how many rental properties that would take to produce a 6-figure reoccurring income, I didn't have to reach in my pocket and do any out-of-pocket, after-tax earned income for a down payment. And I don't have any, vacancies, toilets, tenants, trash, etc. So I saw that and I went, gosh, this is brilliant. Like, this is an amazing way to create freedom, right? While I'm still working with buyers and sellers and so on. Here's an idea. Actually, this is true. If you had a friend, an agent, that was a capping agent, does about $3 million in sales, okay? EXP will give you $4,000 that first year. If you divide that by 12, that's $333 a month. That's basically a rental property. Think about that. I saw that, I went, that's incredible. That is a freedom-producing machine right there, right? Number 6, really, really important. Live below your means. Again, I gave you the examples of realtors going, well, I need nicer clothes, nicer car, I'm tired, I don't want to cook, let's eat out, right? Or, I'm sorry, and then, all of a sudden things change. So live below your means. It's super important. That's how you're going to gradually build wealth. Invest in businesses is another option. Number 8, be the lender. Invest in notes. Okay, these are just ideas for you. There's many, many. Number 9 is realtors build a strong referral business, sphere of influence, and advertising. So really tap into your sphere of influence. There's my good friend Justin's going to come up and kind of share some things. I don't know how much detail he'll get into, but there's an aspect of doing a deep dive into your databases that I'm sure most of you have not done. And what we did is we found that the people in our database were actually doing real estate, buying and selling, not in our area, but they were doing real estate in other states and so on, but they didn't think to reach out to us because, I'm here in Salem or I'm in Sacramento and we're buying in Phoenix. If you really are purposeful and really tap into your sphere of influence and prime the pump and teach them that, hey, you have a referral network that goes every city, every state in the country, which all of you do. I don't care what company you're with, you can do that, right? But you got to teach your clients to think of that if they're doing something in another state, they should do it through you first because you're their trusted advisor. And you'll do the interviewing and the researching of the top agent in those other areas so they don't have to be burdened by that, right? But you got to get to them before they go out in those other areas. So that's a big thing that many realtors do not tap into. And I wish I could go into number 4, but that's all they give me. I'm all done. Reach out to me after. I'd love to share. All right, you guys.